2E0IRI.
CQ, calling all members and friends of Pennine Monetary Radio Society. This is M0AUG from the station on the northwest coast up in the Pipepool. A lot of us on this evening, that'll be normal, if everybody come in. Just checking, is anybody there on GP7HX at the moment? M0AUG. Nothing goes via the repeater there. G4JBA, are you with us this evening, Jim? Nothing goes from Jim. People who've had they connected to the 305 for quite a while now. M7CRM in the group. Chris, are you joining us this evening? Nothing goes from Chris. G0TVB, are you joining us this evening, Paul?
M0ROL.
Nothing goes from Paul. Right, we'll start with the rest of the list now. A new member on this evening, 2E0. Hi. Good evening, Ken. Are you joining us there this evening? Hi. Are you joining us there this evening, Ken? M0AG. Obviously, all interested person there. So we'll start with the members of the group who will want to say something. G6MGQ in the group, M0AG. Good evening, Eddie.
AUG G6MJQ Skelman for West Yorkshire Valiant Jeff. On this cold evening, about 2 degrees Celsius here, overlooking Emily Moor. So, we've eaten. Sylvia was out for the day, been shopping and hospital appointments, so my daughter took her. And she loaded the slow cooker early this morning, about 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. And it was nicely ready for 6 o'clock this evening. So all good there. We'll have to try that every Thursday, then I can get on without the duties of cooking. Yeah, so back to you, Jeff. M0AUG G6MJQ.
G6MJQ in the group, M0AG, you're returning. Yeah, fine enough, Eddie, good to have you on this evening, as usual. Yeah, the problem is with all these is people are continuously logged onto the Reflector there. You don't know whether they're coming on to do it. They just left the dongle plugged in all the time. But that's how it goes, isn't it? So that's why it takes the first few minutes to sort, as they say, the week from the chaff, as they used to say. Good to have you on this evening, Eddie. Over to you there, Peter. M0PBF in the group, M0AG.
M0AUG, M0PBF. Well, good evening to everybody from Staley Bridge. It's a little bit warm in Staley Bridge, Adrian. It's 4.4 degrees at the moment. And clear. And it's probably going to go lower than that during the night, of course. But it was very cold this morning, down to, I'm just looking at my results thing here. What do you have this morning? -3. Yes, first thing this morning. So there we are. Back to you, Jeff. 08M0PBF.
M0PBF in the group, M0AG. Thanks, Peter. Please enjoy it this evening. Right, down over to my bed now, and we'll see what Andrew's up to. 0RLL in the group, M0AG. Good evening, Andrew.
M0AUG in the group, M0RL. Good evening, Jeff, and good evening everyone else on the net. Apologies for being absent without leave for the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks. It's hectic time in my head. I'm on the organising committee for the Victorian late night shopping, which is tomorrow night. So I would say that after tomorrow I'll be free, but we have a debrief next Thursday to the way. But the only radios that I'm going to use over the event tomorrow and Santa Run on Sunday is PMR radios. So I suppose that is still radio work, but we're not talking to people too far, and most of the operators that will be on have no idea how to use them. So it could be fun and games, but yes, unfortunately, a little bit of an absence on the proper radios for the last few weeks. So with that, I'll pass it back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group, M0ROL.
M0RLO in the group, M0AG. Yes, fine, that's Andrew, and obviously you did explain in the email contact that we had about your other commitments. These are things we all have to do, aren't they? And yeah, I hope it all works out on tomorrow. Good over to you, Dave. Not seen you for many weeks, and I hope all is well with you. G607 in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group, G607. Good evening to everyone on the net. Yes, second week I've managed to get here, Jeff, and I'm feeling a lot better, thank you very much. Things are improving, shall we say. How long for I ain't, I'm making the most of it. But yeah, apart from the weather, it's been a nice day. M0AUG in the group, G6ZFN.
G6ZFN in the group, M0AUG. Yes, fine on that day, and I hope everything goes okay going forward, and we'll see how we go from there. Next on the list, G8KJJ. Good evening, Lou. Are you joining the net this evening?
Yeah, good evening, Jeff, and good evening to everyone else on the net. The location here is Bridgeford, just south of the city of Nottingham, and we're about 180 feet south overlooking the Trent Valley. Got a very nice view when it's clear over Nottingham. Back to you, Jeff. M0AUG and the group G8KJJ.
G8KJJ in the group, M0AUG. Yes, fine on that, Lou, and glad you could join us again this evening. Okay, over to you then, Nick. G4IW in the group, M0AG. Good evening, Nick.
M0AUG in the group from G4IW. Oh, yeah, good evening, everybody, and nice to see people here this evening on the net, and also those that end up watching this on YouTube, either live this evening or later during the week. We have fun with our YouTube channel, and I had a lot of fun yesterday. I'll tell more about it on the next over, but we activated MX0KSU yesterday afternoon on 40 metres. Had a lovely run for about 3 hours, talking to various club members, including Mike and Adriana and Jeff out there in Belgium, as well as others here in the UK, and met quite a few other people as well, and chatted to them about Pennine Ham and what we were doing. So it was great fun, and definitely worth doing, and definitely worth repeating. Back to you, Jeff. M0, AUG in the group, G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group, M0AUG today. It's fine, I'm back at Nick, and with my small station, I wasn't able to break the pilot there yesterday. Yeah, good afternoon there, you and Ken, and thanks very much for launching the club website, the club call sign, I should say there. And I didn't catch anybody today because I wasn't available. And it's good. I know that you had contacts, from various parts of the UK. So well done on putting on the mobile club station there. Right, who have we got now? MRB, Martin. Good evening, and glad you could join the net again this evening. Over to you.
Yeah, good evening from M1MRB. I was actually going to sit quietly and listen, so not a lot to comment. In fairness, this week's been pretty busy as always. Did have a lifelong chat with Nick on Tuesday, but apart from that, not much else has happened this week out of the normal for me. So good to hear you. I'm just sitting and listening. Bring me in if you need me from M1MRB.
M1MRB in the group M0AG saying, yes, fine, man, no problem there, Martin. And thanks for your presentation in the club the other week. That was certainly enjoyable. I will call you when we come to you next time round in case you don't have any comments to add on any of the input that's on between now and then. So, over to Belgium now, and Jeff. Remember, November Tango in the group. M0AG. Good evening, Jeff.
M0AUG, the group of 8 November Tango. A very good afternoon or a very good evening to everyone, also on the YouTube channel, and to some new members. So I think at least new members or new participants who are listening. Okay, no problem. Yeah, well, we had a couple of torrential rain and heavy wind and so on, but today was beautiful. We had about 9 degrees this afternoon and no wind, blue sky, so really nice weather. And for the coming days, we will enjoy the same weather. And yesterday I enjoyed the mic X-Ray 0 KSU activation there. Very nice. I must say I really enjoyed that. I could hear Adriana. Quite weak, 4 to 5, something like that. No, 4 to 3. But I could hear her and I could understand her. And also Mike, so that was a good thing. And today with Ken, we were on 40 meters with Ken. And I could hear Addy, G6 MJQ. Very nice to hear your voice on 40 meters. Addy, really interesting, really enjoy that. I started to enjoy 40 meters more and more. So, more on the next over. Mike 0 AUG, the group of 8 November Tango.
Good, I'm a Tango in the group, M0 AUG, returning. Yeah, fine on that, Jeff, and also thank you for your pictures and commentaries on the WhatsApp group as well. Yeah, the 40 meter thing that Nick got going the other day with Ken certainly seems to have proved its worth, and I think everybody's enjoying it and managed to get in touch with them. I couldn't brave the pilot, but then I've got to leave a smaller station than you've got, Jeff, but not to worry. That's only just the wrong time and coming in at the wrong time in the afternoon, because I had to go out of business. So, but thanks for coming on this evening, Jeff, and look forward to speaking to you later on. I'll tell on Germany now, DL1 to JW, with DL8 to PDT. Good evening to both of you, and take it from there, please, Mike.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey. Very good evening to all. Hope everybody is well and okay. And as Jeff on 8 November Tango said, the WX here is quite similar to Belgium, or has been. Not today, I'm afraid to say. We haven't had this good weather as Jeff told us about, but the last days there were lots of clouds, lots of rain, heavy rainfalls and severe storms, especially last night. It was really tricky outside. There were torrents of water coming down the street here, and it was a little bit difficult, but everything okay on our side here. But I'm very glad that very difficult weather has passed us by for this time anyway. Temperature day over was +6 to +8 degrees centigrade this noontime, and now I think it's still something like 5 or 4 plus. But WX forecast predicts the first frost in the night here with -1 or -2 degrees centigrade the oncoming night. So let's wait and see what this will bring us. Because of the thunderstorms which were predicted and sometimes not even arrived then, we had to take down the outside antenna, so we were a little bit restricted in our possibilities in the last 7 days here, but nevertheless had some nice tries on HF. Not so much to report, but I will rant about that in the next OverHI. Now I'm passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, very good evening. This is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, yesterday the HF net on 40 meters was great fun. The situation here on our side was a little bit special. We have been able to hear Ken quite loud and clear, and Phil, and on Nick's side it was sometimes a little bit difficult because of the high noise on the background here. We had disturbances with about the strength of S5 or up to S8, and therefore it was a little bit difficult. But it was fun to be part of the net, and this was great. So yes, I hand the microphone back to M0AUT for the group.
BDT with you on BZ there. As always, Mike Alger, I thank you for your contribution this evening, and I'm glad that you're enjoying the trials that Nick and Kevin are doing on the 40 meter net as well. That brings a new dimension to something else that the club can do, and it seems to be working very well indeed so far. And we'll see how it goes with the changing conditions. Over to you there, Fraser. Oscar Zulu 1 Juliet Kilo Uniform in the group. M0AG.
Yeah, hello to everyone, to the group. Thanks very much indeed. I have only really switched on, but I haven't heard the round, so I don't really know what's going on. But I did have a quick QSO with Ken, I think it was yesterday. When the net was on, which was quite good. I was having to go. My young lady was calling me to eat, and she was getting a bit fed up because she called me twice, and everything was on the table, so I had to bow out fairly quickly on that one. Unfortunately, WX today has been awful, for want of better words. To use the Danish word "naught." It's 30 millimeters of rain in 24 hours and blowing like the devil. Now seems to have calmed down. We've got 5 degrees at the moment, so we'll see what happens later on in the night. I don't think it's going to be a frost. It's just going to more or less stay the same, fairly mild and easy going. Anyway, I better listen to everybody's round again, and because I'm tail end Charlie, comment late, of course. And that's due to our what we call MAD Club, the food club every Thursday, where 40, 50 people, we all sit down for a nice meal cooked by some others. And it's always great, and it's an art social event as well. Very cheap. You can't get anywhere near restaurant price, and often the food is much better than the restaurant. So that's where I've been, and always come back late, unfortunately. It depends on what the social aspect is at the moment, but we were having a long chat about one or two things. Anyway, back to Zero, of course I can, AUD, pardon Jeff, OZ1JKU.
OZ1JKU in the group M0HU10. Fine on that, Fraser, and yeah, some of these things that you organise with friends, the social side as well, it's very, very important to keep these things going as well, especially locally, I think, isn't it? And keep up the camaraderie in the local company without having the expenses, you say, of the restaurants, and enjoy good food and good company. That's what the hobby's all about as well. So, just indulge me, please. I'm going to go back to the top of the list and see if any of those who didn't dance last time want to join us this evening. G4JBA in the group, M0AUG. Are you joining us this evening, Jim? Nothing heard from Jim. M7, CRM in the group. Are you joining us this evening, Chris? Nothing heard from Chris. G0TVB in the group, M0AG. Nothing heard from Paul. Lastly, 2E0IR in the group. Good evening, Ken.
M0.
Yeah, sorry about that before. I was in the middle of something, but yeah, I'm here from Ramsbottom, and yeah, weather's pretty good here at the moment. It's been a bit wet, but it's dried up a bit now. But I've been listening mainly tonight rather than talking. But yeah, glad to be with the group. So back to you, Jeff. M0AGU. This is 2E0IRI.
2E0I in the group M0AG2. Yeah, fine on that, Ken. I'm glad you decided to join in. And I'll give you a call next time, really, in case you want to do anything. But if you don't want to answer, that's absolutely fine. You're not a million miles from me. My station's up on the File Coast, north half of London. So you're not a million miles from where we are. Thanks for joining me this evening, and I hope that'll become a regular occurrence for you. Over to Skelmanthorpe in West Yorkshire now. G6MJQ in the group, M0AG.
M0AUG, G6MJQ. Yeah, goodly lineup, right, that's good. And, well, I was late for the 40-metre party yesterday afternoon. To be honest, I did listen earlier on, and I had a job copying Nick and Ken, but then I turned late. I was doing other things, joined the party late, and conditions had picked up with a bit of QSD, and I could hear Nick quite well. Ken wasn't quite as good, but I gave a call towards the end, but I think it was a bit of a mad rush, wasn't it, Nick, towards the end, and yeah, I didn't get in. But my consolation prize was having a nice QSO with Ken, VZV, today on 40. And as Jeff said, he actually copied me, although I was having, with my high noise level, I was having some, I knew you were there, Jeff, but I couldn't 100% copy you, unfortunately. But another day, we will keep trying. Now, I have a noise problem, and everybody, predominantly on 20 metres, caused by solar panels and an inverter belonging to a neighbour. And we'd contacted the supplier, and they've sent out a 60 hertz low pass filter, and they say fit it in the main side, on the grid side of the inverter. And but then I look at the system. I looked at it the other day with my neighbour, and the grid side from the inverter is actually a fully shielded thick cable with the outside shield going down to earth. It goes between the inverter panel and the consumer unit, fuse box, consumer unit, where the shield is actually grounded there. Now, my quandary is, if that cable is that good and it's grounded at the consumer unit, then surely it shouldn't need a filter. Just take a bit. G6 West Yorkshire. Yeah, it seems that it's wired up correctly, and there shouldn't be anything really getting through to the main side of the property. So I wonder if anybody's got any experience. I was thinking maybe the DC lines to the solar panels, there's two sets of solar panels, made a superb dipole on the roof, and maybe the filters should be put on that side. Just wondered if anybody got any input there. Right, I won't hold it any longer. Back to you, Jeff. M0AUG, G6MJQ.
G6MJQ in the group M0AUG returning. Yes, I know that early. Look, there's nothing constructive tied on that one, but quite honestly, if the problem is being emanated by the solar panels on the roof, then in my view, it should be the problem of the people who did the installations of the solar panels to sort it out, because obviously it's causing interference to somebody else. So throw it back to them and see what happens. I think it's your problem to sort it out. They've come along and put this installation in, and they're causing all the interference. Not what anybody else thinks, but that's my 2 pounds to be going on with. M0PVF in the group, M0AUG, over to you,
M0AUG, M0PVF. Well, I've got solar panels next door. My daughter and son-in-law's house next door has got solar panels, and I think the battery box is mounted about 3 to 5 meters from where I'm sat now, and the cables run parallel virtually. The cables from the room run parallel, certainly to my offset dipole, and almost parallel to the multiband HF area. And I got nothing at all. Mind you, I did tell him before he put the system in that if he gave me any interference, he was going to have to fix it. And I think he got a fairly high spec. I know that the battery blocks, which I presume the inverter is also in. I don't know where the inverter is, but the battery box is actually Tesla. So I'm assuming that is as good as he's going to get. But that's the only information really I have at all. And as I say, it was installed now about 18 months ago, and I've seen no difference whatsoever in the noise levels here. And really, I get considering, I guess we get away really with very little noise. I would have said it never exceeds an S2 to an S3 in terms of noise. There we are. And I'm sorry I wasn't on the net. I was out in Germershof yesterday. I was at the Christmas markets at Chatsworth House for all our European friends. Chatsworth House is a very well-known country estate in Derbyshire. It's the home of the Duke and Duchess of Devonshire, a huge estate and a very beautiful house. And they are part of the Cavendish family, which dates back in English history to about the 14th century in the aristocracy. But they know how to put on Christmas markets. And it was remarkably well organised. I went with my wife and one of the granddaughters yesterday, and we had a great day out, and the weather was very kind to us. We missed out on the storm that was affecting, really, I guess, the western coast of Europe there, from Belgium up to Denmark. I would guess that Storm Connell, which had been named by the Netherlands Meteorological Service, and but it didn't give us a lot of trouble, not half a lot as much trouble as Storm Bert had given the UK the week before, which caused terrible flooding in several parts of the UK. Anyway, back to you, Jeff. M0AUG, M0PBF.
M0PBF in the group, M0AUG returning. Yeah, find any comments on the solar panels there? And something is doing with this, something in the legislation where the installers have to comply with some EMF or whatever it is, regulations there, and not the ins and outs of it, but I think it's down to them rather than you just sort out there, Eddie. I wouldn't go down that route. Try and insist that they came and sorted the problem out. And final Chatsworth, it's a super place down there, Peter, isn't it? I've been down there many times and enjoy it every time we go. Over to you there, Andrew, M0, RLI in the group, M0AUG.
Yeah, M0AUG in the group, M0ROL. Firstly, I spoke to Dave today, so good evening, Dave. I know you're on there tonight. It was really good to hear Dave back in full swing and full health, so I'm glad he's made it tonight. And yeah, solar panels, we've got solar panels on our roof, and I just can't make up my mind whether the noise that I'm getting on the radio actually from our solar panels. Some days I can turn the radio on, we have noise, other days not. So I think that may be just general atmospheric noise, although our neighbours have got some old solar panels, and so I can't really rule that out. But ours we have put in only a couple of years ago, and so some days I can go on and absolutely clear, no noise at all. So even though it's bright sunshine and the panels are outputting 5 or 6 kilowatts, so I think that maybe ours is all right. It may be others that's at fault. And weather-wise, yeah, we've had it bad, haven't we? But we've been quite lucky in Minehead. The big storm that came through, was it Storm Bert, came up through the south, and we're sort of sandwiched between two hills. Adi would know them. We've got North Hill on to the north of us. We've got Perishton Hill to the south, and I think that sheltered us from the worst of the storms. But we had an awful lot of rain. There was flooding in some of the local villages around here. All the grounds are fairly waterlogged, but we did escape a lot of it. Although half the beach, the sand on the from Minehead Beach is actually on the prom at the moment, so the I don't know who's responsible to clear it, but they're not being too quick to actually come along with ideas to put it all back onto the beach. But as I said earlier, very little radio. I don't think that using PMRs tomorrow night counts as real radio work, but it's probably the closest I'm going to come for a few days. So anyway, I'll pass it back to you, Jeff. M0 AUG in the group. This is M0 ROL.
M0 in the group, M0 AUG today. Yes, fine enough, Andrew, and agreed. It's good to have Dennis back on the net regularly with us, and nice signal tonight, Dave. Nice and clear and crisp. I'm assuming that's probably using the 7100 there as a guess. Over to you, G6, ZSA in the group. M0 AUG.
M0 AUG and the group G6 ZSN. First of all, yes, it is 7100. Thanks, Jeff. In fact, I've gone completely over to them. I found them very, very much easier to use than the 7300. They're not as, for me, they're not as complicated, and I'm afraid I find the lesser complication the better at the moment. So I'm very happy with them. When I first saw them, I thought, I'd rather have my 7.3, but now I'm quite happy with the 7.1s. They do everything I want to do, and they do D-Star and VHF, UHF. Plus, I'm gradually getting to grips with D-Star. Actually programmed in HubNet and a few other D-Star programs that I can use using my hotspot. And I'm trying to write a program now, which is taking me a little while, but it's not urgent, so I'm not too worried. It'll take me 6 months. It'll get on the radio when it gets on. With regard to the weather, Andrew was lucky. We've had it very, very badly here. I tried to get to Yeovil on Monday and cried off because Yeovil was absolutely flooded over. You couldn't get to it. Every road was blocked. People inside Yeovil couldn't get out. Buses couldn't get in. And I thought, I'm not even going to bother. A friend of mine who lives in Yeovil, she couldn't get out. She had a hospital appointment here in Taunton. And the Somerset levels, they closed the floodgates. Taunton, we had some floods, but thankfully not too many, although on the roads around us they were a little bit flooded and some of the villages were cut off. But now it's all going down. I went to Yeovil on Wednesday without any problems, which was nice. First time I've driven the car outside of Taunton in nigh on 8 weeks. So I was really happy to get that far without suffering any consequences. And I intend to do a bit more driving now, get some mileage on my car. It hasn't even done 1,000 miles yet in 3 months, so I'm slipping. I'm not working now for the Red Cross, so I've lost 10,000 a year, so anything I do is pretty much my own mileage, which isn't as much. M0 AUG in the group G6 ZSN.
G6 ZSN in the group M0 AUG returning. Yes, fine around there, and pleased to hear that things are getting back to a more normal level for you, and the fact that you're doing less monitoring isn't going to be any advantages. You've got other things you want to do, and it'll certainly take some of the tiring out of the journeys that you used to have to do there. Back on the radio, and you can tell us next time round. I think the 7100, although the 7100 has been out for a while, I think that also covers 4 meters, and you can confirm that next time round there. So thanks for joining us this evening. G8 to G in the group M0 AUG, back to you, Lou.
Yeah, okay, Jeff. I've been taking notes, and I have no expertise or experience of solar panels, so I certainly can't help in that respect.
I've been spending some time on 80 metres. On 40 metres, I should say. That's quite unusual for me because although I've been interested in amateur radio for many, many, many years, from the age of 14, and I'm now 81 years old, it's the first time in the last 8 months, I think, that I've worked on 40 metres. And I was very pleased on the 21st of November to work a VK on FT8 on 40 metres. I was very, very pleased with that. And obviously I've worked VK many, many times on the higher frequencies, but not on 40 metres. So that's a little bit more information about myself. So I'll pass it back to you, Jeff, and hear what other people have got to say.
JKJJ in the group M0AG returning. Yes, fine, I'm not Lou, and please have you on this net. I'm only 1 year behind you as far as the age group's concerned. Yeah, you probably realise from the conversation with Pennine and Club, the club call sign, which is Mike X-Ray 0 Kilo Sierra uniform. We're starting to exercise that on 40 metres. We're with Nick G4IWO and Ken G4VZV. And we've had some pretty good success with it so far in the last few days. So it's worthwhile keeping an eye on the WhatsApp group, or if you're not on the WhatsApp group already, then sign yourself up to that, because obviously some of the postings come out there and you might find some contacts or nets and things that you can enjoy in that. Thanks for joining us on this stuff anyway. Over to you there, Nick, G4IWO in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, first of all, good evening to Ken, 2E0IRI, virtually a neighbour. Looking at the map, you're less than 10 miles directly west of my location here in the hills, and delighted that you've joined us tonight. Just a couple of points. AD, I don't know if you're an RSGB member. If you're not, obviously the club's affiliated. I'm very happy to make contact with David Lauder, G0SNO, who writes the technical articles on EMC for Radcom, because he's written about problems with solar panels quite a few times, and I'm sure that he could refer us to the articles that have been published on that, but also maybe to put us in contact with one or two people who have got some, specific technical knowledge that might be helpful, AD, to get to the bottom of your problem there. Just a thought. So if that's helpful, drop me a note and we'll see if we can sort that out. On the 40 metre net, I had a lovely email from our member Tom, ZS1AFS in South Africa, who said that there was no propagation to South Africa at that time on 40 metres, but he's more than happy to try 10 metres one day. So I think one day next week, around UK lunchtime, we'll set up a sked with Tom, ZS1AFS on 10 metres, and see if we can work him with the club station, but also get any other members that are around to try and get in on the QSO with Tom. Tom is really very, very keen to work club members, which would be great fun. So back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group, G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group, M0AG today. Yes, fine on the 10 metres on there, Nick, and working with Tom. If you remember, as I'm sure you do, I did work Tom on HF on SSB on 10 metres when we had all the open days at the Oldham Radio Club, where a few of us from Emmerdale, I think he was in those days, came along to the meeting there, and we did in fact make a contact with Tom on 10 metres, which was very, very enjoyable on both sides. So let's hope we can get something else again, with Pennine on that one. Over to you for any comments, Martin. on MRB in the group M0AG.
Yeah, M0AG, on MRB returning. Well, just a couple of quickies, and they are slightly off at a tangent. I did listen for about half an hour yesterday on your net, your 40-meter net, but I was listening on YouTube because I was doing other things. Unfortunately, it wasn't in the shack. Just an interesting one. I was with a local repeater keeper on Tuesday morning fixing a repeater that went off air. And just might save yourselves a few pennies or make yourself look good if you give somebody advice. The AC repeater, I think it's the DR2, but they have two FTM 400s in them that have been modified. One of them's pretty much only got the receive board, and the other one's pretty much only got the transmit board, and there's logic between them. This has happened a couple of times, but the transmitter side switches itself off. Now, I don't know quite why. It might be atmospherics or whatever, and it shuts down for safety, but it switches itself off. And switching the repeater on and off has no effect. You have to take the repeater apart, put a head unit on the transmitter side, and restart it. Once it's been restarted, you don't even see it on the head unit display. Once it's been switched back on again, it'll work perfectly. But, it might just be worth it because you could be sending a repeater back to AC for repair, and all it requires is being switched back on again. And lastly, I will be in Friedrichshafen next year. There's about 6 of the ICQ team will be there. So, those of you I haven't met, if any of you are out there, please pop by and say hi. Yeah, can't miss us. We got big orange polo shirts on, but that's another story. But hopefully the repeater thing might give you a bit of kudos with another one of your colleagues. Back to you, Jeff, from M1 MRB.
M1 MRB in the group M0AG. Thank you, Matt, for your comments on that. We don't actually have our own repeater at all. The 40-meter contacts, we're all back on 3/4 SSB. The club doesn't own its own repeater or anything like that. So the contacts are on conventional SSB, which it makes them even more valuable. Thanks for your comments, though. It's worth noting for the future that this is an issue with the DR2 for those who've got them. So over to you there, Jeff in Belgium. Oscar November November Tango, M0AG. Oscar November November Tango, M0AG.
M0AUG, the group. 08 November Tango. First of all, a very good evening to Ken and to Louis. I think it's the first time we worked each other here. And congratulations, Louis, on working 3K on 40 meters. That's quite good. That's a good result, I think. And okay, about the solar problems, I think Nick gave a very good answer to that. And I also think that our member in Scotland, called Mike 4 Juliet Kilo Zulu, had some experience with that also. And I remember that we had a discussion on that here on one of the nets we had here maybe a year ago. So maybe also contacting Keith on that issue. Radio-wise, well, I have been mostly on 40 meters, but during the weekend I took a little bit of CQ Worldwide CW contest. I made about 70 contacts, just search and pounding and enjoying myself. Conditions were not that good, I think, but anyway, 40 meters was good, and I think I made a reasonable amount of contacts. Some good stations like a Fox Yankee 5 in French Guiana and some other goodies. So I really enjoy that. And I have been experimenting with APRS. I have been rediscovering APRS in connection with LoRa. I have been also playing with LoRa during the last couple of days, and the combination of the two is quite fascinating because there is some new firmware for LoRa which allows you to do APRS and also WinLink. And you can connect the little keyboard to the LoRa device, and that's quite interesting. Could be interesting in some cases. Okay, though, that's the story for now for me up till now. So I put the microphone back to you, N0AUG, the group of an 8 November Tango.
Well, 8 November Tango in the group, N0AUG, yeah, fine. Not Jeff, and I don't do CW at all, so I wasn't able to take part in the contest last weekend. But fine on the results that you got there. And also, thank you for the information that Keith had a similar problem. Keith's not on the net this evening, but obviously if any of you wanted to contact Keith directly, I'm sure you could do that through Keith's email on QRZ. On to Northern Germany now, DL1 BJW with DL8 PDT. On to you, Mike, M0AG.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey, yeah. What Jeff just said on 8 November Tango about the CW contest is also an item for myself. I took part, I didn't really take part in the contest last weekend, but I used it for experiments. Because the WX was a little bit critical, and we had to take down our antennas on Saturday, I think, or was it Friday? I'm not quite sure. So I had only the indoor antennas, the antennas in the loft to use, and I made some experiments with very low power in CW. That's to say 500 milliwatts, half a watt. And indoor dipole, got inverted V multiple dipole in the loft there, and I was using that with 500 milliwatts, and I contacts into the US, into the East Coast, and that was very interesting, I think, for myself anyway. And otherwise, nothing much radio-wise to report, but perhaps some of you may remember that I mentioned once that I got a Chinese clone of the USDX transceiver, a very small secret package built transceiver fitting into the palm of the hand, and it does CW and SSB, and is it's working well, and it's also very cheap. Costs about between, I'd say, 80 and 130 quid, and so it's a nice little rig. I had it for some time and was working with it very successfully, but yesterday evening, I'm afraid I have to report that I killed it. I don't know how, but I managed to kill off the receiving end of the transceiver. It still does work on TX, but it doesn't receive anything. So I was very nonplussed, so to speak, and still am. And I think it's a write-off, because, of course, you could pry it open and look into the circuits and so on, but that's a problem for myself with degrading eyesight and clumsy fingers. So I think that was the end of the USDX on my side there. Very sad, because it really was a very nice radio. Sad thing. Okay, so passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, very sad experience yesterday evening, but never giving up. Perhaps we will figure it out what the fault may be. I don't know. So never giving up to turn it once again on. So as Mike said, for running the HFNet yesterday, we had put up our NSAT half-wave in the garden and Fraser. So at the moment, if there won't be a thunderstorm during the next days, there might be a possibility for a scat in the next week. So I think we can try 40 meters then. But I think as the results here on our side yesterday were, the conditions haven't been quite well. So I think it had been quite difficult. So I think during the next week, perhaps we can make a scat there. On my side, I have nothing fabulous to report here. I think I'll try and make some tests during the next week on QRP and report them. So I have the microphone back to M0 AUG for the group.
PGT with TL1 BJW. Yes, fine on the contributions from both of you there. And sorry to hear about the radio brick there, Mike. And I know what you mean. There's quite a few of us at the stage of eyesight not being as good as it used to be, and also height of fingers as well. And we're playing around with things, and I have a problem with that sometimes on the WhatsApp group. And you soon realise once you've sent it that you sent something incorrectly there. Over to you there, Fraser. Oscar Zulu 1 Juliet Kilo uniform in the group. M0AG.
Jose 1 JKU group. Hello. Yeah, great. And nice to hear everybody's been fairly busy and active, etc. 15 meters was very good today. I had a couple of contacts with the US, and there's a net that I belong to that is also got an HF time at lunchtime. Regarding solar panels, I have a friend who literally put a load of clip-on ferrites on every lead he had got, one end, both ends and the rest of it. And he killed all his RF dead. Not sure how possible that is with the system that was being talked about. I lost the I lost the name. Didn't write it down. It might work with that, and that might be your problem. It could be just an idea, but he put a load of ferrites on everything, and it killed all the noise dead, so there's no problem. Missed 40 meters today, unfortunately. Was busy with other things. We got a bed and breakfast late this weekend, so I was cleaning the room. And you, Jeff, and Adriana. Yeah. 40 meters scared sometime next week if you want to, but up to you. You let me know, because it's obviously a problem for you to be on the air. And your QTH must be interesting with HF antennas in the flash. You're very tolerant, Andrea, I think. But never mind. And APRS, Jeff, that worked. Just. But I'm not sure how. I have got to be on line. In other words, I've got to be tracking to make it work, it seems. Otherwise, the app doesn't work. So that's the problem there. Anyway, back to you, Ken, Jeff, beg your pardon. M0OUG G0Z1JKU.
JKU and Group M0 returning final operation. Thank you for the tips on the solar panels to aid 6GT7JQ. Right. To all those listening on the YouTube channel, I hope you're enjoying the net this evening, and that some of you might in fact join the net live in the future. Again in the room, sort of thing you are. If you want to find more information on a regular basis about the club, if you're not already on the mailing list already, if you go onto the Pennine home website, you can in fact just sign up for free. You don't have to be a paying member of Pennine to enjoy the club. There are two rates in there. Anybody can listen anyway, but there are two rates anyway. There are the members who pay the subscription, which is the optional one, who have a part in what the club does, and then there are people who just want to be on the mailing list as well. So if you go onto the website and put yourself in there, Ken, you'll get an email each week from Nick telling you what's going on at the club, and it's up to you then what you want to take part in. We only started the club at the beginning of August, so I think Nick will confirm we've probably got something like 60 odd members there now as well. So it's a pretty good start for a new club. I'm very pleased with the way it's going there. So, over to you there, if you've got anything to add on my juncture, Ken. 2E0 IRI in the group, M0 AUG. Nothing else from Ken this time, maybe just steam up there. Over to you there, Eddie. It's time to start finals, I think, with the move we got on the net this evening. G6MGQ in the group, M0 AUG.
M0AUG, G6MJQ. Yeah, thanks for the input on the panels, etc. Yeah, just to clarify the situation, I've been working in with the fitter and in turn with the importer, the supplier. They admit there is a problem, and the importer looked at it from their side, and that's how we got the 60 Hz low pass filter to go in the system, and that was directly delivered to us to have a look at. And but in terms of the fitter, the fitting is top notch. The situation is that this inverter is one of the first in the country, and it has to be my neighbour. Yeah, and Chinese inverter, and there's obviously a problem. But yeah, Nick, yeah, I'll get back to you shortly when I know a bit more. I want to do some more measurements on the system and find out exactly where it's radiating from. But yeah, it's a bit of a project, etc. So, and thanks for everyone. Oh, and I've got a load of, a couple of packs of clip-on ferrites. So that was going to be my solution before the importer said this low-pass filter. Anyway, quickly moving on. Good comments there, Martin, on the repeater failure. Interested because it came up in a conversation this morning. I have some contact and with the Northwest Fusion Group in the UK, and that conversation about failures came on the net this morning, comments on the net. So, yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, you've got to take it to bits, put the header on and what have you. Yeah, thanks for that, Martin. Right, quickly back to centuries, everybody. And quickly back to you, Jeff. And I'll catch you on Saturday as arranged. M0AUG G6MJQ.
G6MJQ in the group M0AUG. Yes, fine, my friend. And thanks for joining me this evening. Any contributions as well? And I hope between everybody that we sort out your experience on the solar panels there. And look forward to catching up with you on Saturday lunchtime as agreed. So, something from the lady. Over to you, please, if you want. 0AG.
G6ZFN.
M0 PBF in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG, M0 PBF. Lost you for a moment there, Jeff. Not quite sure what happened. Anyway, thank you for running the net this evening. Thank you, everybody, for your conversation and company. And I'll say 73. An excellent net this evening. Very enjoyable. So stay safe. So back to you, Jeff. M0AUG, M0PBF, 73 is 2.
There, Peter, and M0PBF and G6MJQ. I look forward to catching up with you on Sunday morning on the Oldham net there. Thanks for coming on to this net this evening. Over to you for your finals there, Andrew. M0RO in the group, M0AG.
M0AUG in the group, M0RO. Well, thank you, Jeff, for running the net tonight. It was a pleasure to catch up with everyone. There's been quite a few on tonight, some new ones that I haven't heard before, but that's my own doing for being on for a while. Hopefully next time we speak and I'll have a bit more radio experience. I'll get these busy times out of the way and get back on the radio. So in the meantime, I wish everyone a 73 and try your radio in, and I'll catch up with you in a couple of weeks' time. So back to you, Jeff, M0AUG in the group. This is M0ROL.
M0RO in the group, M0AG returning. Thanks for joining me this evening, Andrew. I hope the arrangements for the vintage fair go okay, and you don't get too used to PMR. And I look forward to catching up with you when convenient with your other responsibilities there. So thanks again. Over to you, Dave, for your finals. G6 group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group, G6ZSN. Yeah, thanks very much for running the net, Jeff. In answer to your question, yes, it will, the 7100 will receive 4 meters, but I'm not sure what tenor it should go into. I'm guessing possibly the VHF UHF one, but I'm not set up for 4 meters, so I have no idea. With regard to the noise around here, it's always deafening. Very, very rarely do I get a quiet signal, but today I managed to hear Panama and Madeira Islands, which was quite good, but I couldn't go back to them because my wife was with me, so I'm going to have to spend a bit more time up in my bedroom, which looks like it's going to be my shack for a little while, which is the radio I'm using now. So hopefully I'll get some more QSOs next week. Okay, well, 73's Jeff, and with a bit of luck, I shall be on next week again, and hope to hear you all. And thanks very much, everyone, for a good evening. Sunfree, have a good week. Golf 6 Zulu Sierra November, back to M0AUG.
G6 group, M0AUG returning. Yeah, great to have you back on a regular basis now, Dave, and hope things start to go better for you. Your audio was absolutely great with the 7100 there. Very nice, clean signal indeed. I can't answer the question on the 4 meter one. think a few people in the Oldham Club have been working with 4 meters. I think we've got different antennas, but there we are. That's all I can offer on this particular stage. So certainly to you, and I look forward to catching up with you next week there. Stay safe and keep well. Over to you for your final this evening, Lou. G8KJG in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG, G8KJJ returning. Yes, fine business, Jeff, and I've been listening with great interest to everyone. I was particularly interested in Mike's endeavours with QRP. I was very impressed that he was working with 500 milliwatts, and he was managing to work into the USA. I do have a 10-meter homebrew rig which runs a little bit less power than that, but I keep meaning to get it out and maybe try it, particularly as conditions are pretty good on 10 meters at the moment. But it does mean rearranging the shack, and the shack is very, very cramped. It's just a broom cupboard, really, and I've got 2 rigs here, and they take up most of the space. I've got 3 computers, screens, of course, and lots of other equipment which is gathering dust. Anyway, I'll say 73s to everyone. It's been very interesting, and I'll certainly listen and take part again in future Thursdays. 73s, best wishes to everyone, and I'm going QRT.
G8KJJ in the group, M0AUG returning. Yeah, as I mentioned again earlier on there, Lou, if you go onto the Pennine website, you'll be able to subscribe to the newsletter, so without having to pay to join the club, and then you'll keep abreast of the activities of the club, including the regular Zoom meetings that we do with people from all over the world there. So do join us, and then I look forward to catching up with you again on another one of the weekly nets here. At this point, we skip over Nick who will come on at the end to help us to wrap up the evening. I want to for this Thomas and Martin, M1 MRB, and thanks for joining us this evening. M0AUG.
Yeah, M0AUG, M1 MRB returning. Hopefully you're hearing me because I've just changed radios. Yeah, thank you guys for letting me in. Thoroughly enjoyed this evening. It's a pleasure to work with you all, and long may this group remain successful. I'll say 73s, and hopefully catch you again soon. It's Mike 1, Mike Romeo Bravo, going clear.
M1 MRB in the group, M0AUG returning. Yeah, thanks, Martin, and thanks for joining the net, and I hope you'll take it upon yourself to join the net on a regular basis. And the club at the moment seems to be going from strength to strength, and Nick will give us some updates, I think, in the finale. Over to you there, Jeff in Belgium. Oscar November 8 November Tango in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG, the group, 08 November Tango. Yeah, some short notes. Mike, congratulations on your QRP endeavors. Yeah, very good. Sorry that you blow up that little transceiver, but anyway, you had some pleasure with it, and it's not that expensive, so that's rewarding, so to say. Yeah, and Fraser, okay on the scheduled 40 meters. Yeah, just email me, and you are absolutely right about APRS. You should be online. If you are not online, you will not receive the message, because the message is retransmitted 7 times, I think, every 10 minutes or so, and if it is not received by the other station, it just disappeared. So yeah, quite right. And okay, Dave, about 4 meters. One of the antennas I really like is the Halo antenna, which I got from Moonraker in the UK. It's 50 centimeters to 50 centimeters. It's a loop antenna, actually. Doesn't cost a lot of money. I think I bought something less than 100 quid, I think. And I worked into Tenerife and Madeira and into Greece and so on during the sporadic season. And I guess while 6 meters is also open now during the winter with some other propagation, it might be possible that you get some good results there on 4 meters also. So that little antenna really works very, very well. Horizontally polarized. Doesn't take a lot of place on your mast or on your whatever you mount it on. And I mounted on a broomstick, and it's in an umbrella feet on my balcony. So very easy to put it somewhere, and it's really good fun. Okie doke, Jeff. Thank you very much for organizing and sharing the net. Best FT3s to everyone, also on YouTube, and hope to catch you all again. And by the way, there is a lot of digs on 40 meters FT8. Antarctica is there, Brazil, Japanese stations, so a lot of fun there. 73s to all, and I hope to catch you again. Mike 0 AUG, the group 08 November Tango.
November Tango in the group M0 AUG returning. Yeah, thanks for the notes on the 4-meter aerial and a broomstick. Perhaps that's what you call in UK, perhaps what we call that a clean sleep. Over to you. Thanks again, Jeff, for joining the net this evening, and best wishes to you and Anne as well. And thank you for your friendship. Over to the one gentleman, to my friends over there, DO1BJW and DO8BDT. See you, my finals.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey with the final. First of all, thank you very much for hosting the net, Jeff. Good show. And thank you to all of you for your company and interesting thoughts and interesting data and information there. Yeah. One last word here. The German Antarctic Research Station, Delta Papa Zero Golf Victor November. That's called Victor November as in Günther von Neumeier, a scientist. Delta Papa Zero Golf Victor November is very active in the last few days on the bands. Just now it has popped up on the QO100 on 10,489.700 in SSB, and it's also very often to be heard on FT8 on 20 meters and on 40 meters, sometimes on 30 meters, and also so it's they are very, very active on FT8 on all bands, you could say that. And sometimes even on SSB on 20 meters in the late evening. So perhaps someone is interested to look into that. And I had a contact once with them via FT8. It's 14,000 kilometers, and once I think to CW, and it's really very interesting to work that. So. Thank you for your company, as I said. Hope to see you all safe and sound next week. And yeah, there will be another Zoom meeting on Wednesday. Looking forward to it very much. So good evening to all. Guten Abend. Stay safe. And 73 from Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey. Passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango. Thank you very much for this interesting and informative evening, and thank you, Jeff, for hosting the net. It was a pleasure as ever, and I wish you all the best, 73 and 88 from Northern Germany, and hope to meet you down the block or next week on Zoom and on Easter. Bye-bye. This was Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango, handing the microphone to M0 AUG for the group.
Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta with Delta Lima 1 Bravo Julie Whiskey. Thank you very much as usual for your contributions this evening, and we look forward to catching up with you again next week. So thanks to both of you for contributing, but also for personally for your friendship. And we look forward to catching up with you on the Zoom meeting next on Wednesday and rest on Thursday. Thanks again. Over to you further for your finals. Oscar Zulu 1, Juliet Kilo uniform in the group. M0AG.
Okay, from me, Z1JKU. Where are we? Len, fantastic. You're adopting new modes and not sticking your head in the mud like a lot of other more ancient people are, shall we say. I'm 74 almost, and so not very far behind you, but far enough. But great you're adopting digital modes, etc. Other people just don't know what to do about them. Christmas market, someone mentioned earlier, and there's a good one here, which is, if you want to have a quick look on the web, is pens in hand, very quickly. It's Echo Golf, Echo Sierra, Kilo Oscar Victor, dot, slot, this bigger pardon, it's not slot, forget the slot, it's Echo Golf, Echo Sierra, Kilo Oscar Victor, Quantum DK, and then /EN for English, and then you can go there. You'll see a very nice place, and it's only about 10 kilometres from where we live, 12 kilometres from where we live. There's a fantastic Christmas market there, which finishes this weekend. Nick, 10 metres, if you're still listening, good idea, no problem about that. Andrew, if you're still listening, a bit overdriven. And Martin, very much better audio than the last one, so that has worked as well. Thanks for running the net, Jeff, as usual. And 40 metres sked for you, Jeff, you drive it because you're in charge in that area. I can come any time, but you've obviously got a little bit of itinerary to go on. The downside of our APRS, as we were saying, is the fact that I got to be online. If I've got a telephone, all it's doing is going around the house, so therefore it just looks and makes a bigger and bigger circle, which is a pity. I'm not often mobile due to the fact we only have one car. We live 25k from anywhere, 15k from anywhere, and I stay at home. I've got a bike, so you might get me bike mobile one day. Anyway, good night all. Many thanks indeed, and lovely net. And as usual, it's a good Thursday evening. Many thanks indeed. Back to you, Jeff. M0OUG OZ1JP.
JK in the group, M0AUG returning. Yeah, thanks for joining us again as usual, Fraser, and always good to have you on the net this evening. So, we'll throw it home to you there, Nick, to wrap it up with the finale. I think things in question are the numbers of people are in the group at the moment, and also what plans you've got for doing some more tests on 10 metres. So G4IW in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group from G4IW. Yeah, thank you very much, Jeff, and thank you for everyone's contributions. Thoroughly enjoyed the reports people gave this evening. And just to say, because we are live streaming this, of course, on YouTube, and it is going out live on GB7HX, the Huddersfield repeater, looked after by Malcolm. And thank you, Malcolm, for the work you do there, keeping these repeaters going, doing a great job for the local ham community. Owen2E0OGN popped up on the YouTube channel, on the WhatsApp channel on the club, just saying that he was at work and listening through GB7HX and was making some comments about Laura and a board that he had built. But he and Jeff are now talking about currently on WhatsApp while this net is taking place. And that's been one of the great surprises for me. We live streamed the 40 metre activation yesterday, and we probably had at any one time 6 or 7 people popping up on the channel listening, but in fact looking at it this afternoon, we've had 51 views of the of obviously parts of the net, so people have been listening to bits and pieces of what we were up to on 40 metres yesterday, which is great. We're currently, Jeff and everyone else, we're currently at 68 members of the club, so that's extremely good. And I'm looking forward. Martin was saying here, and I had a long chat. I did an interview for ICQ podcast, and hopefully that's going out this Sunday. But I'll post information about that on the WhatsApp group and by email as well to club members in our next mail out. And next week's talk is Karen, KD2GUT, who of course is also an ICQ presenter, but she's also one of the people, one of the staff on the amateur radio newsline in North America, and also involved in POTA and CW operation. So very much looking forward to chatting with Karen next week. And we've had apologies, by the way, from Keith up in Scotland, GM4JKZ, just to say he was unfortunately too busy to make the net tonight. And my final one is just to look out. For those of you on WhatsApp, you'll get the information about this, but our member Phil, G4UDU, is going down to Cornwall for Christmas. So he's going to be staying at the Lizard in Cornwall, and he's going to activate MX0 KSU one day for a few hours while he's down there. Obviously, on a family holiday, he's not able to say exactly what day and what time, but he is going to go and make an activation. So look out for that call sign operated by Phil over Christmas or Boxing Day at some time in those few days. Would be great to work in. So 73s everyone, lovely to hear everyone and talk to you, and catch you all next week, hopefully on Wednesday and then on Thursday for this net. M0 AUG in the group G4IWO.
G4IW in the group M0 AUG. Yeah, thanks for doing that, Nick. And Keith always also came back on WhatsApp, and I've responded to him on that one. So it's really good down this evening. I think we're getting a few more people coming into it, but much of content in there. So I've no doubt when I key down, my friend in Belgium, Oscar and Brady November Tango is possibly going to have a photograph for us, for those of us who are using the icons. So thanks again everybody for joining me this evening. It's been a pleasure to host it. I look forward to catching up with you on the Zoom meeting next Wednesday and the next Thursday. Thanks for all.
Okay, yes, hello. This will be a picture of the city of Bruges, just a view of the city of Bruges.